Jamshedji Tata was the very first generation in the Tata Group of companies. He started the Tata Group of companies with a vision. The vision was to start India's first ever cotton mill factory. It was not like India didn't had its cotton mill before. It did had a very handful of them in Mumbai, but it didn't had the modern equipments and the modern technology in the cotton mill factory. So what did Jamshedji Tata did? Jamshedji Tata actually traveled all around the world looking for the knowledge that he wanted to open the cotton mill factory in India. He went out to the old world to explore and travel around the world and got the knowledge. He traveled back to India, and with the investment of very little amount of money, he started the first Indian modern equipments and modern technology used cotton mill factory in India. But after all setting up this kind of new technology equipped cotton mill factory in India, Tata faced one more problem, and that was the workers were being very lazy and were not coming to the factory. In that time, the factory workers and the factory owners were very rude and very dominant over the workers. But Jamshedji Tata, he did very one strange thing. Instead of just punishing them and cutting their salary or wages, he instead gave them medical assurance, health assurance, and built school for their students. Yes, at that time,
Tata Group has pioneered multiple industries in India and remains the market leader in most of them.
It was Tatas who introduced a number of firsts. The first j.R.D, the first leave with pay.
I would prefer to live with the knowledge I have of upholding the values that we have and that we've tried to uphold through these years, rather than say that I've grown at 3 times the rate that we have.
his cotton mill factory was being very famous around the merchants that were coming to India. But Tata didn't stop there. He wanted to expand his company to many other branches. So Tata started Tata Steel. Yes, the exact Tata Steel that is one of the biggest steel company in India and in the world right now. But do you know that Tata Steel was one of the biggest contributor in the Second World War? Yes, you heard it right. It was one of the biggest and contributor and the exporter to the World War II for the British. Tata Steel saved us, and this statement was made by a British politician at the time of World War. By this statement, you can just guess that how much strong this Tata Steel that was produced by Tata company were, and how much of a contribution it made for the Britishers in the World War II. And let me just remind you that Tata built the first 5-star hotel in India that had electricity in it. Can you guess that? Wait, I'll just give you a second. Yes, if you guessed Taj Hotel in Mumbai, yes, you are right. Taj Hotel was built by Jamshedji Tata back in the time when Indians were facing racism against the Britishers.
J.R.D. Tata was the chairperson of Tata Group industry from 1936 to 1990. He is also popularly known as the father of Indian aviation industry and was the first person to get a license to fly commercial flights all over the India. And obviously he has already contributed a lot of things to India, but his main contribution was with aviation sector in India. With that vision, he went on to start India's first aviation company, Air India, which was considered as one of the best aviation company in the entire world, but was acquired by the Indian government at that time. But later Ratan Tata got it back. And J.R.D. Tata is only businessman till now to get the first Bharat Ratna award. J.R.D.'s other contribution to these countries are setting up India's first atomic energy research center with Homi Bhabha and helping in other health sectors also. Another biggest company set up by the Ratan Tata was TCS. With the help of Ratan Tata, it made around
$100 billion. Let me just remind you that this is even bigger than the total market cap of Pakistan Stock Exchange. And the idea of TCS was laid by Ratan Tata and with the help of J.R.D. Tata at that time.
Ratan Tata का journey बहुत crazy है. Ratan Tata started with the Tata Group at 1962. Even though being the grandson of Jamshedji Tata, he worked in factories with the workers and came up to the high level and become the chairman of the Tata. Chairman बनने के बाद in 1990 he saw an opportunity in automobile industry. So he introduces Tata Motors to the entire world. As of right now, Tata Motors का market cap है $44.3 billion. Let me repeat it, $44.3 billion, which is very huge. हम बात करते हैं कि इलॉन मस्क, टेस्ला, ये सब ईवी इंडस्ट्री को कैप्चर करता है और ईवी इंडस्ट्री का बाप है. पर टू बी ऑनेस्ट, इन इंडिया टाटा owns 90% of EV car market. Tata is the biggest manufacturer of EV cars in India, and it is trying to expand it all over the world, which is direct combat and direct impact on Tesla. Just look at this video. Can you believe this? This was made by Tata Group, and this car is going to be launched very soon, just in 2 to 3 years. Just imagine Tata Group can make this type of car right now in India, which is going to give direct competition for Tesla.
Tata Motors is such a company which is a perfect example for and the motivation for any other companies, because they went from this to this in some very short time. But how did they go from this to this? Let's talk about the EV revolution that Tata is having. Tata shares almost 99% of the EVs that have been sold in India. And how are Tata been able to sell this kind of EVs? Is because of the very cost-effective EV that has been manufactured in the Tata factories. How are Tatas been able to produce the EVs at very low cost? The answer is Tata themselves. Let me just explain you how. See, Tata is a group of companies. That means Tata Motors is not a single company. Talking about the EVs, Tata used the same old setup and the same old line of assembly that has been used in the diesel cars, and they are using the same with replacing and manufacturing some little bit of modifications by adding up the batteries, and they are using the same thing. Right now, Tata, when it started producing the EV cars, they just produce 8 EV cars per day. But right now, the capacity has been increased to 100 EV cars per day. And in the further future, they are going to increase it to the huge number, as the demand of EV cars in India of Tata Motors has been increasing.
टाटा इस कंपनी को कौन ही प्यार नहीं कर सकता यार. After all the things that they have done to this country and the people of this country, whether it be the cancer center open for free people or the research center that helped Indian scientists to research about the atomic bomb and helped us to save our country, and all the other NGOs and donations done by the Tata company. In short terms, in short words, I want to say that Tata is the most loved company of India, and it will be in the future also.
And that's why we love Tata.
Where did Microsoft, where did Apple, where did Amazon, where did Facebook come from? Where individuals started in garages, where ideas were born, do not grow with a view that something can't be done and so should not be done. How many times have you heard people say, this can't be done? It's your job to remove those myths and to get things done. Learn and listen, because your whole world is going to be learning and listening. Your success is going to be your humility. In many ways, we have been critical of and saddened by what has or has not happened in our country. To a great extent, this has been a function of we can't do this or it can't be done. Let me just take a minute and you look at the world around you. Are the great successes the large companies of this world, and there are many and many successful companies? Or are they the companies that took chances, where individuals started in garages, where ideas were born? Where did Microsoft, where did Apple, where did Amazon, where did Google, where did Facebook come from? They came from ideas that people felt something could be done and that they could make a difference. So as you go out into this world, I would hope that you, would look at being ethical and holding the value systems which you want this country to have. If you think you cannot make a difference, I'd say you very well can make a difference if you so desire.